Does your life ever feel like a never-ending cycle of the same mundane activities? Have you ever just felt like you do the exact same things every single day and just day in and day out? It's the same routine. Some people may be okay with this, but me personally, I'm completely over it. I noticed that I follow a very specific routine in my day-to-day life. I typically wake up, get dressed, attend school, do homework, maybe film and content create if I have the time or feel the spark of creativity to even pick up a camera, and then I go to sleep. And I sometimes feel like that I'm like in a hamster wheel almost, and I just feel like I'm not putting myself to my fullest potential, but because of the constant runaround and kind of hamster wheel that I'm in, I can't find myself jumping out of it and doing things that I actually like to do. It leaves me feeling uninspired, unmotivated, and just not like myself. And I'm not okay with that anymore. And it makes me feel like I'm surviving instead of living. Like I'm in survival mode. It's wake up, get this money, get the grade, eat, go to sleep, instead of living and doing things that actually matter and make a person's life worth living. That's not to sound like super sad, but that's what it feels like sometimes. As many of you may or may not know, I am a full-time college student. It is my senior year of college. I'm a writing and digital studies major, and I'm 20 years old. And I noticed that I constantly find myself kind of struggling with this term that I like to call dealing of energy. Now, this is not a new concept. I'm not pirating or pioneer, well, not pirating, I'm not stealing. Am I pirating? I'm not pioneering anything. This is nothing new. Basically, when I think of like dealing of energy, when it comes to school or just any type of craft that you kind of do, you kind of have to figure out where to put amounts of effort upon yourself. I'm trying to put 110%, 120% of myself in all my classes when I'm not built like that. Nobody can put 100% of themselves into everything. That's not how math works. That's not how physics works. Logistically, it just doesn't work. I feel like I'm expected to put my all into my studies, school before anything, right? Like you say that when you have a part-time job, full-time job, it grades before anything. You have to call out sometimes because you have to do a project instead of clock in today to make some money. Not everybody has the opportunity to be just a student. Not everybody has the opportunity to just focus on their studies. When I decided to take on YouTube and such like a creative and hands-on type of job, I signed myself up for a dual life, being A+ 4.0 wannabe student and being a top tier, constantly posting amazing content creator. And this is where my second half of my life just really just kind of, it gets a little rocky when you do something like that. Taking on the creator life as a student. As you must see often, a lot of people who are into content creation do not attend school. And it's because as a content creator, we make a lot of money doing what I feel like is the bare minimum, showing up, showing our daily life. As a lifestyle YouTuber, I literally just show up and show you what I do on a day-to-day basis. With this job specifically, I feel like there's this constant stigma of innovation and constant creativity. They're supposed to create to fill voids and give people entertainment and things to look forward to, right? Or wanting a little bit more. But what happens when the inspiration runs out and the motivation is gone and the self-discipline vanishes? My personal journey, I have been on YouTube for a plethora of years. I've been doing this since I was an early teen. I went from just being a kind of lifestyle to kind of like a big sister advice type of channel to more back of a lifestyle college type of YouTuber. There have been times where I don't know what to do with myself, and although I'm a lifestyle creator, I still want to make an impact on people, whether it's to motivate them, inspire them, or want them to want better for themselves, even if I'm not doing things that are groundbreaking every single week or every single day that I post or I decide to post or put myself out there. Although I don't do anything creative, like insanely creative, I don't know how to animate, I am not the best with graphics, I'm learning but still not the best. There's just some things that I would rather I do through my content, even if it's not the most groundbreaking. I still try my best to make things look aesthetically pleasing, feel homey, relax, show you parts of my life that make you want to just try some new things or just make you feel better about what you have going on and let you know if there's somebody out there who is like you. I feel like as a content creator, there's a cycle of comfortability. I'm gonna try to explain it in a way that like makes sense, so bear with me. Y'all know how I am when I get flustered. I'm gonna try my best to explain it. I feel like this is just the endless cycle of doing what you know because it's easy. It's what you have time for. It's what you know. You know what you do on your day-to-day basis. That is your cycle of comfortability. It's what you know. It's what you do every day. It's your groove. It's your daily routine. This can be applied to the same thing as a creative job. When you see a lot of creators, you see that they edit their videos the same way, use the same fonts, transitions, sound effects, music, locations, and it's because it's what our audience knows. Once you get in that cycle, kind of hard to break it because you're breaking a boundary for yourself and a comfort level for yourself. Breaking out of your comfort zone is always hard, but especially hard when you're in the creative field. When I think of my cycle of comfortability, because I feel like me and a bunch of other creators, especially around this time of the year, and especially this year, I feel like a lot of us are finding trouble with like switching up our content, or we're just not having as much fun. It raises the question, like, what are you supposed to do when this isn't fulfilling anymore? What are we supposed to do when this isn't making us happy? What are we supposed to do when we feel stuck and we're tired of doing the same thing day in, day out, week in, week out, every month? What happens when this isn't doing it for us anymore, creatively? Once again, this is not just a regular, like, oh, this is a YouTuber problem. Everybody has their own cycles of comfortability, and everybody has their own kind of like ways of living and how they do things. So it's not just a creative field type of thing. Everybody deals with this. It's just in different fonts. Let's be for real. My hair looks crazy. I've been in a sleep bag for 2 weeks. Not too much. It's getting washed today. Mind your business. When this kind of happens in my life, because I feel like my life is broken up into two things, my school life and my creative and social media life, and these worlds clash constantly. I constantly find myself trying to choose which one means more to me, completing college and getting my education completed and doing things that versus like doing things I actually like, which is inspiring people, motivating people, pushing people to try new things and find out more about themselves. Also just being able to talk to whoever I want in the world, because through social media, the amount of people I have reached out to me and who have seen me and just wanted to change something or feel a little bit better just by watching my stuff is absolutely insane. It's really just a question of who do I, Aliyah, want to be. And it's kind of crazy because I find myself constantly having to choose between these two biggest parts of my life. And if you've known me, you know that I've struggled to balance these forever. People always ask me, how do you balance school and social media? And my honest answer is, I don't. I'm not the best. I've been doing social media all throughout high school and all throughout my college experience. I'm 20. I'm graduating early. Shout out to that. How I managed to do that while doing this is above me, but it doesn't matter. School constantly runs me dry. I say this all the time. I always want to switch up my content and can't because school takes up all my time. I am a full plus time student. I have 15 credit hours this semester. I've never had 5 classes at the same time, and they're all senior and extremely hard level classes. And it's taking a toll. It constantly runs me dry, leaves me exhausted, unmotivated, uninspired, and just truly like I just need to get up, go to school, get through the day so I can go to sleep. And I do decide to pick work, which is rarely over school. I feel like it gives me energy, it gives me inspiration and experiences that I will never be able to get in school, but it takes away learning time and college experiences, whether it's trips or I have to take some days off of school to do a shoot or like travel and things like that. I'm missing class time, work time, and it's like crunch time. Like, so it's like no matter what I choose, just like right now in this aspect of my life, and I know this is probably gonna change when I graduate, so who knows if what I'm saying is relevant or it will like matter. Just because of this split, I constantly just feel a war like within myself, giving me like too worn out to do either of them. I want to do school. I want to be great in school, all A's and B's, C's because they get degrees, and I want to be great and get my grad cap on time. And then the other part of me is like, you need to get this bag, you need to do what you love to do, share what you do and your passion creatively out loud, and it's hard. I'm at a crossroads constantly. I feel like because of this constant war, like back and forth, I end up feeling too exhausted to try to do either of them, like I kind of mentioned before. And it sucks because of that. I feel like I give the bare minimum effort to anything. Like I said, we're kind of going back to that little survival mode that I mentioned before. And it really does suck because I want to live. I don't want to be on survival mode. I don't want to be just on default. I want to live a life, and a life that is meaningful, has memories and things that are important, and I want to help people, and I want to help myself and give myself those memories that I deserve and just experiences that I deserve as a human. I constantly, maybe not constantly, but like a little more frequently than I would like to admit, I constantly find myself more anxious, stressed, frazzled, what do you call it, frisky, like just kind of like all those little negative emotions, and a bit more laggy, kind of like, maybe I'll stay in the bed for 30 extra minutes today instead of 45, you know? And it turns out all these are symptoms of burnout. If you don't know what burnout is, I'm gonna read you the definition real quick because some people might not know. Ruining one's mental health or becoming completely exhausted through overwork. Burnout can affect anybody, no matter your job, field. You can be women in STEM, men in construction, they in architecture, or you could be doing social media yourself. Teachers get burnt out, college professors get burnt out, students get burnt out, nannies get burnt out. Like I feel like we haven't caught a break in so long because it's always like, what's the next big thing? And I constantly have to like ground myself and remind myself that it's okay to slow down. Like, you're burnt out, you need to give yourself a break. And I feel like a lot of people are burnt out along with me and a bunch of other creators. They just don't know how to deal with it. And it's hard to ground yourself after such thing because nobody wants to take a break from their job. Nobody wants to waste time that they can be getting money to make sure that they're not homeless, they can eat and do fun things. But sometimes when you're burnt out, you have to force yourself to sit down, reevaluate and do things you actually like to do outside of just the default and what you find in your daily, like, mundane life. It's kind of hard to find the daily joys in life on a day-to-day basis when you're so used to just seeing the same stupid routine every day. And it's so hard to find the small joys in life when you're so used to just doing things like on autopilot almost. And I don't know, I've been spending some time thinking, spending some time with loved ones and doing things I love again. And I feel like I finally kind of cracked the code. And I try to find ways to just do things I enjoy while not doing like the same, like, oh, take a break, like, kind of tips. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips on how I have broken my burnout cycle and how I am trying to continue to keep my burnout cycle broken, and how I've been trying to help myself. All over the world, people have found a love for documenting their kind of mundane activities and sharing it with people all over the internet, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, just to show that they're actual people too. And specifically through Canon, they're a major part in why me, Aliyah, have been able to do the same thing. Canon is all about innovating the boundaries of technology, and if you've been watching me for a long time, like way back in the day when I was like 11, 12, 13 in my bedroom in my mom's house, I've been using Canon for years. So I want to say thank you so much for Best Buy and for sponsoring today's video. I appreciate you guys so much. And since we're on the topic of burnout, I love to bring in the fact that new hobbies is a personal tip that I have for kind of breaking that burnout cycle. With their inclusive and easy to learn equipment, anybody can pick up a new creative way to spice up their everyday life through photography, videography, and easy on the go equipment, all while continuing to live their everyday lives. As a content creator, y'all know I love convenience and easiness when it comes to content creation, equipment, and everything like that. Cameras, mics, tripods, Canon literally has it all. And through easily accessible shopping via Best Buy with the options of quick delivery or even in-store pickup if you live near one like I do, and price matching if you don't know what that is, the best price guaranteed no matter what Best Buy you go into, and use the new camera that they actually wanted me to introduce to you guys, which is the Canon EOS R10. Now, if you're interested in making content, this is a great upgrade for you if you've been using your smartphone. When it comes to good quality content, y'all know I'm very picky, so if I'm recommending this to y'all, it's pretty good. It's actually very good if you ask me. Canon also offers very good mics. They have the DME100, which is a very tiny yet powerful mic. It has a windscreen, you can take it on and off. It's very durable. Y'all know I love me a tripod. If I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna sit down and talk because girl, that's my job. That is the reason I'm introducing you to the HG100 TBR tripod. If you don't know what this is, it's literally one of the best vlog tripods I've ever had in my life. It comes with a remote so you can autofocus, zoom in, zoom out, stop recording, start recording, all via Bluetooth with your Canon camera. So it makes it super easy to set up at like a very particular angle so you don't have to fiddle with your camera and go back and forth and back and forth. It really just allows you more creative freedom and flexibility when recording. If you're like me, I lose stuff all the time, and the great thing about this is that it literally sticks onto the tripod, so when you're not using it or you need to put it away, you can stick it right there and you always know where it's at. If you need something for videography and photography or just filming equipment, period, Canon got you. Like, they have the best stuff. Canon's equipment is available everywhere to bring a creative spark to anybody's life with all skill levels and interests. Thank you, Best Buy, for giving me the opportunity to work with you guys and sharing this little bit of creative freedom and sparkle in some people's lives who may need it. I feel like everybody should realize and take a second, I had to do this myself, is that every day is not going to be glamorous, overly exciting. Days are going to be dull, boring, and repetitive very often because that's just what life is. Coming to the realization that not every day is going to be fun or interesting, it took me a while because as a content creator, I kind of thrive on when things go bad. You know, not everything is going to be fun and overly exciting. Things are going to be dull, and that's okay. It took me years to figure that out. I still sometimes struggle because people tend to tell me my life is too structured and everything, but that's just my daily routine. I'm not about to go my way to wreak havoc in my life. I care about my mental well-being. You should too. Although there's like a bare minimum that we might get tired of, allow yourself to be happy that you know what's happening. You created such a good routine and kind of pace for yourself that you are very much aware of like, this is what a good day and my typical day looks like. So when something is exciting that's coming along, you know that like, hey, you have something to look forward to. Like I said before, not everything's gonna be exciting and overly dramatic, but when it is, you probably will appreciate it a little bit more, and that is always wonderful. My next tip for you is romanticizing your life. Now, I tried to create some tips that you really don't see often, but I feel like romanticizing your life is literally just the best thing you can do. But I do have some tips that can kind of switch up how you romanticize your life and how you can make it a little bit more different than everybody else's on the internet. Like I personally like to do, you can find beauty within the smaller aspects of your life. Usually if you watch a romanticizing your life video, I'm a victim of saying this, but you can do things like go to the coffee shop, go to the library, get some work done, get a cute little pastry, take pictures of pretty things. But I personally like to do this in a very specific way. But if you feel like you've been doing that enough, here's another way that you could potentially switch it up. Instead of going to Starbucks to do your work, pick out one new local coffee shop or just one new coffee place that you can try every week. So you're trying new foods and branching out, doing something exciting, trying new places while also simultaneously going into your routine and getting work done. Another example, instead of just buying an eating pretty foods, why don't you find pretty foods somewhere, try it out yourself, try new things once again, and try to recreate that at home. It's not gonna be as good as the first time unless you're a professional cook like my sister Love Quinn. It's fun. You get to cook, you get a break. It's just an overall really nice way to just relieve stress, unless you get stressed when cooking. Then that probably isn't the best. If so, ignore what I just said. I feel like when you kind of give these mundane activities a little bit more bump in your daily life, like it just adds so much more. Like I feel a lot better when I try new places and go out of my way and explore while also getting what I need to get done. It really just makes the biggest difference in my energy and how I feel. Capturing these moments for you to see instead of posting for social media make the biggest difference. Give yourself one day a week to do nothing but things you love. I am still trying to work this into my schedule. Having 15 credit hours a semester is no joke. I'm either at home, in the bed, or out doing homework, or sitting at that lovely mess of an island doing work. Write reflections, color, paint, read a book, go on a walk, go to the gym, play with your dog in the living room or the grass, go to the park, anything that could just get your mind off the constant cycle that is your life. Finally, I don't know if this will make any sense. I'm gonna try my best to explain things. Y'all know how I get. As important it is to take breaks within your daily life, it's also just as important to integrate these new things into your life in a healthy way. A lot of people can't do things cold turkey. It takes 30 days to 21 or 30 days, I believe, to integrate a habit into your daily life. So if you're gonna decide to move your routine around to make sure that these habits are integrated properly, nothing's gonna happen overnight. Okay, it takes time to adjust to new routines. If you try to integrate it, it doesn't work, it's okay. It's not gonna happen the first time. If it is, props to you, but for the rest of us, it probably won't. You're not gonna magically feel less burnt out or better overnight about your daily mundane life, because I definitely didn't when I started working on mine heavily. Learn what works, make some necessary changes, and just keep on pushing. You don't need to be hard on yourself because you're not doing anything but digging that deeper hole. And in order to really hold yourself accountable, you can ask a friend, family member, or get an app that can hold you accountable. Or you can even get an app to hold you accountable. Sorry for the constant lighting switch ups. With it getting dark at 5 o'clock, it's really throwing me off. But all that being said, if you made it so far into this video, I appreciate you so much. We've reached the end, sadly. This is kind of a new type of approach I have for videos. This is me trying to get my creative spark back. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Let's see if I can integrate it some more throughout the weeks, and let's see what I can do to personally bring back my creative spark. And let me know what you're doing as well. But just know that you're not alone. Although it's something that you really have to do in order to fix, there's people around you that are probably more than willing to help. So make sure you don't forget that there are people behind you, in person, online. Literally, there's so many things that you could do in order to get back on that track that you've been wanting to get back on. And there's so many things that you can do to get that spark back. One of those things is getting into Canon. Hello, great beginner equipment and cameras. Check them out at Best Buy. But with all that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit different, so I appreciate you if you made it here once again. Make sure you give me a like, subscribe if you're new. Thank you again, Best Buy, for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you check out Canon. I'm gonna have the link down below for you to shop the actual camera setup and set that I have from Canon with their newer one if you want to get into photography and videography, so you can get that kind of creative spark and find a way to document your everyday life and making it easy and simple through Canon. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.